All righty. Welcome back to the Red Corner, folks. We got the whole gang here. Bones, how we doing, baby?
Pretty good. I think I'm starting to get a little under the weather, but we'll call this the flu podcast if it gets any worse.
Yeah, that's what those four little ones will do to you. It's, 1 week it's probably one. If not the other week, it's someone else.
Yep. And they're off next week, so.
Can't get sick now. Spring's right around the corner. Good weather's almost here, Bones, so you got to hold on tight.
100%. And speaking of spring being right around the corner, 16 days away. Boys, when we started this podcast, we were 1 week removed from the Phillies falling to the Mets, obviously, in that horrible series. And now we are on March 10th, 16 days away from opening day. Guys, thank you, whoever's watching live. Please, if you're here, do us a solid. Slim's, like I say this every week. Slim looks at those analytics. He does not like seeing that 50% of you that are watching are not subscribing. So if you're here, just do the little click. Click that subscribe button. You'll see down there at the bottom, scrolling, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. Jump on over to those. We share all different types of content. I shared this last week. We do Bones Knows, which is trivia. We're going to talk a little bit about the morning show of WIP later on, which Bones has dominated the trivia segment on there. So that's, if you like trivia, go to Bones Knows. It's all over our socials. If you're a fan of a little bit more skits and food, we got the In the Kitchen with Slim.
And let's talk about In the Kitchen with Slim real fast because
hit it.
And there's still time. You can comment in the chat, get in the raffle to win the hat that we've been promoting for the last week. As I was counting up the names of the shares and going on Instagram and Facebook, everyone who liked and shared, thank you very much. There's still time. I also ran through the results for the desserts real quick, and I'm declaring myself the winner. It seems like most people had me either number 1 or number 2. I never seen Slim at 3 in anybody's rankings. Most people had me at 1. A few people like what you said, Devo. But here's the thing with Devo: you're disqualified because when you pick milkshake, you got to pick a flavor. Okay, so we actually had someone come in from Mayfair, call in, text me, and say you got to DQ. Jake from Mayfair called in and said you got to get rid of Devo's pick because he has to at least pick one milkshake. So on the spot, what milkshake would you pick?
So
you got to pick a flavor.
I would go black and white.
Just
classic.
Okay.
Technically, you were DQ'd.
I wasn't
because
DQ'd.
I took cake. I took chocolate chip cake. You weren't supposed to take cake. We were taking up a category. I just happened to throw in the flavor I liked.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I'm actually going to.
Right. Look at this. This is actually hilarious.
No.
Chocolate cake.
No, I'm going to fall on the sword on this one because full disclosure, we never really made the rules super specific. When I looked back, I'm going to be honest, I side with Bones that I thought that was going to be the spirit of the draft.
We got receipts.
We got receipts. However, it did not turn out to that. So when you look back at the draft, my milkshakes is the one of these things are not like the other for sure. It was super general. But we never made a rule. I'll earn that disqualification. That's fine. We got the chat getting crazy. Johnny Lightbulb jumping in saying fight. Welcome. I think that's a new guy, so welcome, man.
I'll tell you what. We're not going to get into it, but at some point I would like to challenge Bones in a Sunday eating competition. A banana split eating competition. You can name the rules. I'll meet you anywhere, any place, and I will beat you in your own home when it comes to eating banana splits. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And that's a dessert nobody took, the banana split. Whatever, you make the rules.
Yeah, I mean, banana split's a heavy hitter. That's a good call.
Split cake.
But Slim, we'll move on from this, but I do want to set the record straight. If you could do it all over again, would you have picked dirt pudding again? Be honest.
100%, because you know what? I had a lot of my female followers, a lot of the aunts, a lot of the moms came in. They make it every summer. They make it for every party, and it goes like this. It's just like people that it goes fast. It comes and it's gone. All right, so whatever. The people talk.
Is the gummy worm in there?
Yeah. Yes.
The gummy worm that's absolutely necessary. And by the way, I'm not saying
ones.
What's that?
I've seen all types of gourmet dirt puddings.
All right, so enough about dirt pudding. Let's transition here. So, guys, not that long ago, last weekend, we just alluded to this, right? On the WIP morning show, we had Dombrowski and Rob Thomson sit down, right? We got a lot of good information. Now, arguably, and I'm going to kick it over to you first here, Bones, arguably the biggest question headline was answered. Without hesitation, Rob Thomson, when asked if Trea Turner led off, would you have Harper at 2? He said yes. So, Bones, my question for you is Trea Turner the leadoff hitter?
Yeah, and obviously Rob Thomson was listening to our show when I talked about it about a month and a half ago when I gave the lineup. And I had Turner 1, Harper 2, Bone 3, Schwarber 4. But it looks like they're going to have Schwarber batting 3 behind Harper, which is possible. But I'd say it's a 100% chance that Turner's going to be leading off.
You're going 100. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think that's cemented. And the way Schwarber talked the other day, also it sounded like it was pretty much set in stone.
It sounds like it's set in stone, but is that the lineup you would want to see, Bones? And how do you feel about it? Because, frankly, with Turner, I'm a little iffy if he's going to be able to get the job done. Now, everything goes well. He's on base. He's stealing bags. He's healthy. But I'm afraid – yeah, I don't know. I'm just afraid if he gets a little streaky, if he's not hitting, what do the ripples of that look like?
Well, he's not off to a good start right now in spring training.
Right.
No.
So, but I think we'll turn it around. And it's, you never know. Like, a lot of these pitchers they face, they're not going to see them in the majors. So it's tough to get a grasp with at-bats. Then once you see steady major league pitching, hopefully down the stretch here, in this last week and a half, they'll see that, get better pitches to see, and put the ball in play.
But here's the thing I want to see, Bones. Let's see.
Go,
let me know if you think this either too, Devo. He's a guy who might be the most arrogant Philly, right? In my opinion, he's up there with he's probably beyond Nick Castellanos. He's up there with his approach. You know, he just can't lay off these pitches come the postseason, and now we see him in the preseason he's finally in the spot he's supposed to be in the last 2 years and wasn't in the leadoff spot. And he looks like crap. He looks like crap in spring training, and then it's no big deal. It's never no big deal for this dude, which is fine. I know the baseline baseball card is going to look good, but at what point does what we talk about Bone being a baby? What point does this guy kind of like? I don't know. I just don't know if he's a real leader yet. I don't know if he's big time. You're right. I'm not sure if he's a PT player. If this ripples down, I like Schwarber. The reason Schwarber's batting third is because we need Schwarber to get close to 5 at-bats because he gets on base and usually one of the times it's a home run. So, or usually in that spear, right? So that's why he's third.
I know exactly what you're saying. No, I was going to say I know exactly what you're saying about Turner. No one is denying Turner's raw talent, right? That's why he has that $300-something million deal. But I think what you're hitting on is the fact that he hasn't been a rise to the moment guy, right? He hasn't been a guy that gets bigger in the big moments, kind of like a Harper. And honestly, shout out to your boy Nicky C. Nicky C almost is better than what he maybe is on the back of the baseball card in the big moments for us, right? He's had the hot and cold for sure, but he's definitely had some big moments. Now, the point with that is what I wanted to kind of set the table on that. It seems like we're all on the same page. He's the leadoff guy. We can kind of stop that back and forth. But before we talk about maybe who's the 3-4 hitter for sure, I'm going to play a little game with you guys. And I'll start off with you, Slim.
Well,
hold on. Let me finish this thought. Over under 2.5 leadoff hitters this season. How many you think the Phillies have?
Over.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, over.
Okay. Do you think that was the right number, 2.5, though?
I would have said I would have said 3.5. I think we're at least going to see 3 because the 2 we're definitely going to see, right? So now I only need 1 wild card, which injury and stuff, you probably see 1 wild card. You might see Rojas sneak in there or a Stott sneak in there.
Yeah.
Right?
My mind was the slam.
I think the bigger question is how short of a leash is Turner on at that leadoff spot?
That is a big question.
Well,
I would say pretty short.
Yeah, because
yeah,
Phillies are pretty damn good when Kyle Schwarber leads off.
Yeah.
We might need to be scoring some runs with the way the relief pitching Jeff just might have taken a hit, right?
I know. And listen, we will be talking all about that Strahm injury. But, yeah, so on to the 3rd and 4 hitter. So right now, the Phillies, we know, right, with 100% certainty, the red corner is saying, based upon what we're hearing, we know our opening day leadoff hitter and 2-hole hitter, Turner, now Harper. So who do you guys have at 3 and then 4? Bone, start with you here.
I would like to see Bohm at 3 just because of the lefty-righty split. But it sounds like they're going to put Schwarber in 3 just to have that power bat behind Harper.
You in agreement, Slim?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, Bose, because, like you said, the protection is an angle I wasn't even thinking of. I'm just thinking about where are Schwarber's at-bats going to come from because of his dynamic. And then the second thing is, if he's batting 3rd, you don't got to worry about him on the bases whatsoever at any point. So if he gets walked, great job. We now have our best contact guy or one of our best contact guys coming up. So, yeah, no, Schwarber 3, I think it's a no-brainer. Bohm at 4. Yeah, the question's going to be Turner. If he's getting on base and stealing, that's going to be fantastic. I think everything else looks pretty fine with Harper, too, Schwarber, boom.
And also, that gives you a little bit of continuity, right? Like keeping Bohm at 4 doesn't have everyone shuffled around. So you got one guy, and by the way, the guy that led the team in, batting runs in for most of the year. So I think having him where he was and where he succeeded really well works. Anything else we want to talk on with Turner before we jump into this raffle?
And it kind of eliminates the thing like if Harper, let's say Turner gets on, he steals, Harper hits a single, Bohm moves him along. Now, once you have Schwarber, if he's back up, if there's not that many outs, it's easier to pitch around him, right? Because we haven't really seen. He's definitely been up with 2 outs plenty of times, but we haven't I'm not used to whatever perception that is because I'm so used to him coming up there with a clean slate. So it'll be a whole different thing, especially the dudes behind him now aren't no good.
Right. All right. So we got a little chat activity I want to call out here before we transition to our snapback hat raffle. We got Johnny Lightbulb coming. I love that name. I don't know what that means, but I love it. Johnny Lightbulb, did you gentlemen see Bryce Harper get nailed in the head during the spring training about a week ago? I don't know if he actually got hit in the head. Did he? I think he got hit in the shoulder or something, and then it ricocheted over his head or something.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah. The still shot,
yeah.
It looks like he got hit in the head.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't great, man. I feel like Harper can't get away from the ball hitting him around the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seemed really upset when it happened, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has a
knack. He does. And we got one. I wonder if it's like these young guys pitching to him get nervous sometimes. You know what I mean? And sometimes they just lose that command. Just speculating. But we got Franny D coming in. I remember when Michael Jack and the Bull batting 3 and 4. I would like Harper and Schwarboomer 3 and 4, he said. Listen, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of different lineups this year, so do not be surprised if we see that. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
I mean, yeah, maybe we'll see. I'm for it. I'm all for it.
For sure.
Make those 1-run bombs, grand slams.
Yep.
Because Schwarber's RBI totals have been low. Especially not too much. Yeah, the last couple of years they are. They're usually low because he's hitting solo dingers. So, but a reason for that might be the amount of times he's up. I'm not sure. Someone had to get on the mat there.
We're going to get our analytics department on that. Slim, are you we ready to do a little raffle here?
Yeah, give me one quickie.
Thank you for everybody who participated. As always, we have our nice Red October snapback. Slim will be calling the winner off here.
I've never been a hat person, but I'm telling you what, with seeing some of these hats, I'm about to start rocking them. That one's nice.
Thank you.
That's a very nice hat.
Damn, low turnout this week, huh?
Yeah, not it. So we're an honest show. Usually we're getting like 90 to 100. We only had like 60. So I think we're spoiling our listeners with the giveaway. So maybe do we have to keep raising the bar? Is that what the game is? And to be honest, we might have 2 of these hats. So we might be running it back down the line.
Is Denise Edeline, a Facebook follower.
Oh, nice.
Denise Edeline.
Congratulations, Denise.
Let us know where you want to send that. That's all yours.
Congratulations. We will send that over to you. Congratulations. Another red corner winner.
So where are we at?
Alrighty.
What are you guys taking away? How confident? I mean, we still got – what do we have to look forward to? I know, Devo, we're sending you down to Clearwater this week. So listeners, subscribers, Red Riders, pay attention because the times might be a little bit different. We might be going on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. But what are we looking for these next 2 weeks? What are you guys watching?
So to kind of hit on your first point, I will be down in Clearwater reporting this week. So I'll be doing a couple games. We will do a podcast when I'm down there. So stay tuned for the palm trees in the background. I'm going to do my best to find a nice little background on that. And to answer your question, what I'm looking for the next 2 weeks, to be honest, I'm looking to see the guys like Ranger and Luzardo to get back into form. Ranger has elevated his velocity. He's looking a little bit better. I was really concerned after his first outing. I didn't like what I saw. Even though the results weren't that bad, I watched him and he didn't have the snap on his throws at all. And then this last one, he's had a little bit better of a performance. So those are the 2 ones that I think I'm going to be zoning in on the most.
What I was thinking with Ranger, and we kind of talked about this last week with pitcher's velocity, but we talked about the reverse angle, Sanchez, a couple other guys, Walker.
Yeah.
They were showing increased velocity. You're like, well, maybe because they're only going 2 innings or so. I think we could have seen a reverse with Ranger to where he's a control guy. So maybe that first inning, you might just want to take it a little bit slower, get yourself warmed back up, because he took an intentional velocity dip last year. So from 23 to 24, we saw his velocity decrease, but his control on his sinker increase, which is what we're really looking for. So, I wonder how much, if he's like, it's my first outing out here, let me just take it just a little bit off it. I'm going to be out of here within a couple of seconds. Or a couple batters, yada, yada, yada. What do you think, Bones? What do you think is going to happen with Ranger? Because, I mean, he's one of these wild card guys. I'm a believer. I think I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be as good. And like I said, people were very worried about him. They were watching him. I got more concerned with, not that they're the same. My expectation might be different, but I got more concerned with our leadoff spot with Turner than I would with Ranger as a 4th or 5th starter.
So, we got Painter coming up in July now, Dombrowski said. So, I think Ranger is more suited, just the way his arm troubles have been the last couple of years, as more of a long relief guy for us. So, he might bridge that gap until Painter comes up and head to the bullpen there, like Chris had brought up before, to 6 starters.
Right.
And then just so we get used to that bullpen role for the playoffs. So hopefully, or maybe he's a trade candidate early on, or like mid-season even, just to maybe get something back, prospects or something. Maybe someone's going to look at him, especially if Painter comes up and he's pitching well. That last month that or the first month that he's up here. So we'll see.
So Bones, I'll bet you a chug. It's a long-term one though, so we might have to make it a double bagger.
He's not getting traded. I'm just going.
No, I think Ranger Suarez is going to get a playoff start.
Okay.
Playoff, I can see him starting. You see him starting a game in the playoffs?
Yeah,
you see him in the bullpen.
He does have the brass ones to do it. We've seen him last year against the Mets. He was getting in trouble, got right out of it. I think all the confidence in the world in him when he was doing it too. But
that's a nice little bet, though. I think that's a good handicap, though. If it's the playoff start or not, right? Because obviously we see what you're getting at. You're basically saying, is he going to be a top 4 arm at that time, right?
It's going to be a guy who need to be good. You know, I think he's going, especially. I mean, with the injuries. I mean, trust me, I'm excited with Painter as anybody. I think if Painter was up as early as May, he would be a Cy Young type guy. When he comes up in July, he's gonna look great. And there's gonna be times we're gonna get upset because they're gonna be pulling him out because of all that arm stuff. I think Painter's gonna be relieving Ranger in starts, and maybe a couple of these other guys. You know, hopefully no one has any injuries, but you know, a bad back can pop up or something. And then now that's why it will be nice to have the 6 guys.
Yeah, and also I feel like Ranger, his stock has been a roller coaster, right? Like he was the Cy Young favorite in June, and now he's kind of like, is he even a starter? You know, I mean, we're having this conversation. Obviously, he's a starter, but just think about that. The vibes have changed so much. So I think it'd be awesome if he has like a y'all must have forgot moment where he first 3 months is just, you know, on fire
especially
again.
Contract year.
Especially contract
year. But you know who really
year.
kills Ranger, and I brought this name up again. I keep hating circling back to him, but it would be in a ground ball pitcher. Where is Turner on the shortstop scale of defenders? You know, is he a top? He's not a 1%er. Is he a 10%er? Is he 25%er? Is he a top 4er? Is he a top 3rd? You know, so where's our defense as a whole? You know, because right now the 2 weaknesses I could see with the Phils might be the relief pitching, you know, especially with taking the death hit with Strahm. And then I'm not sure exactly how great our infield is. You know, I think Stock's great. I think Boom's better. I think Turner is decent, is good. And I think Bryce is good, you know. But some of these teams are 99%ers, you know.
So basically what you're saying is you're worried about Turner at short, right?
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, every once in a while, you know, something happening, guys on base, keeping an inning open for my boy Ranger, you know. I'll keep a tally every time Turner keeps an inning going on Ranger, you know, and I'll have my little, whatever you want to call it, quiet sympathy, whatever. I'm not saying that word, but, you know, I'll play the violin for Ranger anytime Turner screws up.
All right, so you mentioned Harper in the infield. Now let's talk about Harper in the outfield, right? So he just sat down with Ken Rosenthal this past week, and the whole Harper going back to the outfield buzz resurfaced. Now, this is going to be 2 kind of members of this podcast pounding their chest a little bit about this topic. Number 1, I believe I was the Lone Ranger that said that this team is at its best with him in the outfield. So the Phillies were looking around, kind of poking around. The name that they were poking around for was Slim's boy, who he got made fun of, Pete Alonso. So before you jump into the Pete Alonso, Bones, I'm going to start with you. Where are we at on this? Do you think this is a trade deadline thing? Do you think this has legs? Is Harper going to be back in the outfield in the next 2 years?
No, absolutely not. No, he was already playing a Gold Glove caliber first base last year. I don't see them moving him back to the outfield just for like this year or next year.
Laddie.
They'll go get somebody else.
Laddie?
Hey, that'd be nice, but I don't think so.
Right.
I think he's going.
But that's the name, though, right?
Yeah, that's the and apparently he was looking for less than $600 million, and Blue Jays weren't giving it to him, so maybe the Phillies will have some next year, but I doubt it.
Well, Vladdy makes sense. Well, A, does Vladdy want a DH? That would be the question.
Well,
And we
he would play
have
first base in this situation.
and Harper would DH or go back to the outfield, because I do think it would be hard for him to go back to the outfield. But hey, I would be open to signing Vladdy Jr. And I think the avenue for that would be to not sign Schwarber, open up that DH role, and start having conversations there. But hey, having him at first base, having Harper in the outfield, and Schwarber DH, it would also be. I'm all in on that. So please, if that's the situation, Harper wants to move out there to bring in a Vladdy Jr. 100% in. You take the hit potentially at defense. Same thing with Alonso, because you get the reward of 40 home runs.
If this was real, him going to the outfield, why wouldn't he did it last year for Rhys Hoskins?
I know. That's the counter.
Home runs. He said it. He says it in the comment. I think 40. He wants like a 35, 40 home run guy.
Yeah.
And if Vladdy Jr. here, I mean, imagine if Vladdy Jr. was a DH. He would be hitting bombs out of this park. He could be our Ortiz.
So, let me ask you this, and obviously this isn't how this works, right? We don't play the crystal ball game, but are the Phillies better right now with Rhys Hoskins at first, which I guess in that situation removes Kepler from the equation, right? Puts Casty in left. Are the Phillies better?
So I don't know, because he's so streaky as well, and he just adds to the lineup of all the stuff they went through. So I don't know, but it's just because he was a fan favorite and all that, that came into play. That's the thing that should have kept him here if he was going to do that. So there's, I would say, they're better without Rhys Hoskins.
Okay.
So the question is, Rhys, Harper, and Castellanos versus Rhys, Kepler, and Castellanos?
That's correct.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably an extra 10 home runs, right?
Yeah, you hate to say it, but the answer is Rhys Hoskins. The first lineup is better. Yeah. We're going to see. It seems, and I'm only saying hitting-wise, I think I'm going to be proven wrong, however, with Kepler's defense. Because if Kepler can play plus defense out there, that changes that equation a little bit. And then I know Hoskins is a professional hitter, that he's going to have his weeks where he's awesome. We've seen that throughout his entire career. I think Kepler's going to show us a great 3-5 week span somewhere this year, maybe even longer. I think we're going to see a few good weeks out of this dude. I really do.
He looked great in spring so far, batting .316.
But for now, I would have to go with that first one. I would have to go with that first lineup.
It's something we'll keep an eye on. We got a little chat activity from Michael here. He says, speaking of Casty, I'm here to win you boys some money. Take Casty and the overs all season long. He's preparing for a Hall of Fame season with all the tragedy and nonsense going in the world this year. Now, that's funny. Yeah, when something bad happens, Castellanos.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
What is that? Where did that start? That started with the airplanes, and unfortunately,
start with the Reds, right, Adam?
Yeah, it started with the Reds when I forget the guy's name, but he made a comment that homophobic slur.
Oh, right, he made a slur,
and he was apologizing, and then he's like, Castellanos with a home run to left. I might not be calling. Not be calling a game tomorrow.
Yeah. So he's literally in the middle of making an apology for making a slur, and in the middle of that, he goes, "That's a long drive, like Castellanos." It's just ridiculous. But anyway, that was the birth of the Casty.
He did something last year where something happened and he hit a homer.
Yeah.
Shiz might have had some moolah on it.
I think Michael's right. I think Castellanos. I'm keeping his name out my mouth for now. All right.
No, you have to own that. That's a burden you're gonna have to carry. You know that. Just like how JK's playing in was Japan right now or Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to keep an eye on his stats.
Who else? Iglesias is in the minor leagues for San Diego Padres, but doesn't mean you're right.
Yeah,
okay?
you got the touch of death, dude.
Doesn't mean you're right. You know,
you're sending guys to the minors and Korea.
Wait until the playoffs is here, and San Diego has a couple injuries, and Iglesias is up again, and he's in the second round again.
All right, boys. So let's Slim alluded to this earlier. Let's transition to our boy Matty and fellow card bro Matty Strahm. So
yes. Breaker
bad
boys.
news. So Strahm has looked not great in spring so far, and turns out the reason is he's got a shoulder impingement thing going on. So Thomson downplayed it a little bit, right? They're not too concerned. Todd Zalecki released an article. There's an option here where maybe he starts on the IL. So Bone, start with you. How concerned are you with this? I'll let you just take it from there.
Yeah, anytime you got a shoulder injury, it's going to hurt your team, and I don't see him. Even if he does come up, it'll be a quick stint back to the IL if he does start the season with us. This is something they got to take it easy with, and just because you got Tanner Banks, Alvarado, they're the two lefties in the bullpen. Strahm was huge last year, all-star along with Hoffman out of the bullpen. Had a great first half of the year. This is a big loss if he's not ready, because then who's their other bullpen option? Because we talked about the guys last week that we're looking at for the bullpen, and they're nothing to talk over, like Phillips and all that. So they're going to have to look outside the organization or somebody. Maybe they see somebody in this breakout game on Friday against the Pirates that they can bring up to hold them over.
Which I will report from in person. Slim, go ahead. What do you got on Strahm? I know Strahm's one of your boys, so I'm sure this news hit you hard.
Yeah, it really stinks because I still thought that our relief pitching was going to be a strength. Now it's basically a question mark. Bones, I'll ask you again if you think if it's going to make our relief units more uniform potentially. Meaning, are we going to see a clear-cut closer and a setup guy because we're lacking the depth? It's like, all right, you guys got to be really good at these roles, and we're going to have to be playing around with a long relief guy or even, messing around with certain roles because someone's going to pick up where Strahm left off. That's for sure in these late innings. But what really stinks was Jeff Hoffman seems ready to go. Jeff Hoffman seems healthy, and we didn't sign Hoffman per se because we heard about the injury risk, and we sat here, we talked about, what was it exactly? And Hoffman recently spoke on what it was. He said there's something in his elbow that pops up with some of these images. He doesn't know what it is. Different doctors read it different ways. He doesn't know if it's hurt him before in the past. If not, he said he's felt great the last 3 years. He's with the Blue Jays, and he's
basically nothing changed. It's just something that pops up on imaging, is what you're saying, right?
Basically, yeah. And he said no one knows if that's what's makes him hurt or what. And then the more important thing is he's planning on being their closer. You know, and I saw closer odds today, and there's not a single Philly on there. You know, on the top 10 people most likely to lead their leagues in saves or the whole MLB in saves. There's not a Philly in the top 10. Hoffman wasn't in the top 10, but Hoffman seems like he's going to be closing games potentially all year if he does a good job.
So I think that's one of the reasons. I don't think the injury had anything to do with the Phillies not re-signing him. I think it was more he wanted to be in that closer role.
Right.
And the money he got obviously showed that. I don't think the Phillies wanted to go that high just for a middle reliever because I don't think they were going to use him in high leverage situations anymore after his last two postseasons.
Yeah,
but I think the injury does. I think the injury to Strahm does affect the closer role because now you're taking, like as I said, they only got two lefties now with Alvarado and Banks. Banks ain't going to be a closer, but Alvarado, um, he was one of them plug-in guys, like for the situation, whoever came up in the ninth.
Right.
If there was a couple lefties out there, throw Alvarado out there. If it's a couple righties, throw either Romano or Kirkering out, whoever's available that day. And this might alter that plan if they have to, say, use Banks in a sixth inning or seventh inning, and then they got to go to Alvarado in the eighth, and then there's no lefty in the bullpen, maybe for the ninth inning against teams that have dominant lefties coming up in the order.
Yeah, and that was exactly what I was going to say. It's really the domino effect, right? Like, let's just speak on under the assumption that we're starting the year without Strahm, right? So there's a lot of things that, number one, that means some unknown guy is now going to have to enter the chat, right? That also means that the odds for Taijuan Walker to make the team just got a lot more attractive for Taijuan. Name like Devin Sweet was getting thrown around there by some of the insiders. But, yeah, I mean, Strahm was an innings eater for us, right? Like, outside of Hoffman, like you hit on, Bones, he was probably right up there. The guy that he was always out there, right? And he was reliable. He's been great the past 2 years. So now, if he's not there, a non-Matt Strahm guy is going to have to do his job, and I want it to be Matt Strahm doing that job. So we'll see. I hate this news. I hate it. We've been sitting here. We've been greedy, right? And the baseball guys are finally finding their way to us because we've been sitting here looking at the Yankees, the Mets, all these guys have been going down, and now finally it hit us. So let's knock on wood here. Let's hope that this is just a little impingement that he bounces back from. But, yeah, no, this is bad news. Absolutely.
And you touched on Walker.
Yeah.
Maybe this is improving his chances of staying with the team. I think the news that just came out of New York is increasing his chances that he won't be here. With Gil going down last week and then Garrett Cole tonight.
Yeah.
After his second opinion, being out for the whole season with Tommy John.
Yeah. Injuries. I mean, the past, and then the Mets, their catcher just went down, right? Like we've been knocked out again. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've been really lucky so far. So, I mean, Strahm's a huge loss, but anything else on Strahm and then kind of the
it's going to put stress on our lineup, right? It's going to put stress on us to produce runs.
100%.
You know, it's not going to be, we scored 4 in the third, let's go. It might be, we scored 4 in the third, and now we might need 4 more in the 6th and the 9th. So it's going to be. I think it's not good, and I would like to build confidence in Alvarado, and Kirkering as 8-9 clear shot type guys who take care of business and we move on. Or even if you make a Kirkering early on, making the closer, and then just figure out the 7th and 8th, see if these guys can get. Yeah, that's what I would do. Something like that.
Yeah, and Alvarado's looked great. He's throwing more breaking balls, right? More curve balls now. He's been adding that. To be honest, when I first saw his curveball, I thought it looked kind of flat, but it's a work in progress, and it's just an extra pitch, right? You're making the hitters think more. You have one extra thing that could be coming. But, yeah, he's looked great. Guys, we have a kind of a surprise. Yeah, no, Slim, because I want to change gears, so you hit that.
I'm kind of putting this one dude on notice. I saw that the Phillies said last week, or maybe over the weekend, that this dude has superstar potential. I'm not sure if it was Dombrowski or Topper talking about Marsh. And I was very excited when we got Marsh. I was very excited thinking Kevin Long could change his hitting approach, and he did. He had a very few good weeks last year early on. But I don't think Marsh is going to be the guy. And when I was talking about that defense, I think we almost had to give Rojas every day to play out in center field. I think I know his hitting is very concerning, but I would start him every day in center field. He has the momentum coming over from the Dominican League, where he had a little bit of success. And I think just having that whole energy and vibe going straight, spring training probably hurt him, because he was probably ready to play more competitive baseball. So I think just him, I would let him strike while he's hot.
Well, big thing about that is he actually hasn't even been playing the field yet in spring training.
He's
Right,
Yeah,
right.
He hurt his shoulder sliding over in the Dominican League, but
ripped a homer the other day.
So far,
he's been hitting the ball. No, 100%. And it's funny. I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to say
that's no doubt.
Marsh, when we first started the off season, right, and we were having conversations.
He's trade bait now, baby.
Marsh,
saying,
yeah,
trade Marsh for one of these relievers, right? Who wants
but
Marsh?
when we first started, the conversation was kind of like we thought that there was going to be a platoon in center, right? And then slowly it kind of just faded away where it was almost like it sounded like the vibe was that the Phillies are losing confidence in Rojas at center. That was the word on the street. And now, to your point, Rojas is he going to hit his way into that spot? It's a weird kind of dilemma. But we'll see. We need someone to just win that job out there, for sure.
I think you win it with defense first. I think that's where you look, especially with center field.
Well, then that's going to be Rojas then. But
because we saw Marsh make mistakes a couple times last year.
Misreading balls for sure. All right, so we have a subscriber question that came in here from Thomas B. And it's a goodie. And honestly, speaking of handicapping, I'm not quite sure where I would go on this one. So what he said is, what is more attainable? Slim to drink 12 beers in 1 hour and 45 minutes, very precise, or Trea Turner to bat 300 on the year. I have my opinion on this. Where do you stand on this? I'll start with you, Bones, and then let's see what Slim thinks.
This is a tough one, but in this hour and 45-minute period, is there can he throw up or anything? We got Slim there. Sometimes Slim likes to indulge in other things besides drinking the beer, whether it's eating, smoking.
No, the reality is
all depends. But Trea Turner had 295 last year. He's basically a 290 plus hitter. I'm going to go with Trea Turner batting 300, but it's going to be close.
I'm the opposite. I'm on Slim on this, but
hour 45. That's a lot.
If I were to go into my
he can do it.
kitchen cabinets here, I have a cup that's easily 24 ounces. All I have to do is fill that up 6 times and have 6 drinks. It would be hard.
Yeah.
I would go. I'm afraid I'm going with myself. I'm most nervous with this whole Turner get up at leadoff. I don't think he's him. I don't think he's the dude.
You don't think he's him? That's hilarious. So you think you could do it too?
Yeah.
Overturn.
I know I can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm with you on that. All right, boys.
Minus 350 is what I was. Minus 360. Somewhere between minus 335 and 360 is where I would put it in my favor.
335, 360. Anything else we want to get off our chest before I jump on a plane and head down to Clearwater? Because obviously we end every week with on this day in Phillies history.
You got to come back with a guy whose baseball card we can go get. Someone who's going to be producing for the Phillies. Because let's circle back to Racones, right? I don't think we're ever going to be saying Racones' name again. This dude got so disrespected, bro. I saw. I'm like, wow, man, this dude's hitting 3 jacks. Maybe he can break this lineup one day sooner than anyone can expect. They then release the top Phillies prospect. He's like number 10. They're like, all right, we got to throw like a familiar name. So I thought that was disrespectful. Long story short, they say he slugs though, so that's like his thing. So he came up and he was on brand with hitting the home runs. They're saying that's what he does down. Apparently, he was on brand hitting the home runs. They say that's exactly what he does all the time. But he's not. He barely cracked the top 10 in our farm system. I noticed last week.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of giving some shout outs, the Red Corners boy Cody Clemens leads the team in hits. Is batting .375. He's got a He's got a cycle on the spring training, single, double, triple, and a homer. So I don't know, guys. What else could Cody do to make that case for that last bench spot? So I wanted to give him a little shout out there.
Is that not another nod to – because we have Wilson coming up. I wouldn't be shocked if we see Marsh traded at some point. I really wouldn't be. I'm not sure what his contract is, but he seems prime.
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye on that. I didn't know you were going to come in here with the trade Marsh before the season takes. I love it.
Not before, I'm saying at some point you can see it happen, especially with the relief pitching. I mean, all sick. I didn't come in here either, but as we start talking, my mind works, and it points to this dude going out, getting out Philly, because we have Clemmings, we'll have Wilson coming back up. We need relief pitching right now, and Marsh has been given every opportunity and hasn't taken the job. You know, we just brought Kepler back in. Marsh could have been out there. You know, Rojas is taking his job. He's a guy whose job his job gets taken. That's what this dude does. He comes in, he shows up for 2 weeks, and then he thinks he's good, and then his job gets taken. So let's get him out of here. And I believe that
I feel that.
The garage, right? And I'm on Girard Avenue. They have Matisse Thybulle, the Sixer. That place is a curse of a place. The non-Philly people go there. Yankee fans go there. Mets fans go there. That place is a curse of a place. And right now, they got Stott, they got Bone, and they got Marsh up there.
They got the daycare.
They got the daycare up there, right? And the only one I'm confident in this year, I'm confident in Stott a little bit, and Bone. But
whoa! Since when?
Defensively.
Okay. I hear you there.
I always say he's good because his defense is good.
Now, to be honest with you, Marsh is definitely, again, if we're just playing the speculation game, he fits the bill of potential trade piece throughout this year, right? If he's underperforming, and then there's a team out there, he'll be under control. He's got a favorable contract. He's a potential piece where someone will say, I'll take a chance on him. He's had some big at-bats in his life, yada, yada. All right, but boys, let's close this one down before 50 minutes. On this day in Phillies history, Bones, what do you got for us?
Nothing special. The only thing got today is former Philly great Mike Timlin's birthday. Born on this day, 1966.
Shout out, Mike Timlin. Awesome. Is that all you got for us?
Yeah, there was nothing
Cool,
crazy.
cool. All right, guys, congratulations to our raffle winner. To everyone who is new in the chat, we had a lot of new faces today. Thank you for joining us. Please come on back. We have a lot of exciting content coming your way. Again, if you're here and you haven't subscribed, please hit that button. We have Instagram. We have Twitter. Jump on over there. We had a great time today. And be on the lookout. Slim alluded to this earlier. We have a lot of really big pieces of content coming your way. We have an NL East preview episode that we're going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks before the season. We have a big partnership that we're going to be announcing in the next couple of weeks. So there's a lot happening in the next couple of weeks, so please stay tuned. And thank you guys for everything. Have a great week. I'll see you in Clearwater.